Hello guys, welcome to Rise of Patience. Here we are with a standard 1 versus 1 between Gunalan and Serman. Let me introduce both the players. Serman, he's a great standard player. I don't think he has been playing standard a lot, but regardless, he's really good. And he even has his own YouTube channel. So if you are, I think it goes by the name AS Serman. So yeah, if you are looking for more Rise of Nations gameplays, please check out his YouTube. Then we got Gunalan here, who is I would say almost an advanced standard player because he's really unpredictable at times. He plays so good that he can beat anybody. So yeah, quite an unpredictable player. You never know what he's gonna do. So let's see. Koreans versus Maya. This is a great matchup. Both the nations are supposed to be defensive, and the way you play with this decides if you're going to win or not, because they don't have any explicit nation powers that are too overpowered like Japanese or Germans. They're not like those, but they are good for booming, and at times you can also do some aggression. So it will also come down to rare resources at one point. Here Serman has got wool. Of course, wool is always good if it's within your reach. Sugar in this corner, which will not be within his territory for sure. He will have to, yeah, he'll have to fight for it. And then gems. Both of these are great rares, but a little farther for him, and he cannot secure them for sure. But it's good to have these rares close to him, so that if he wants to cover these, he can send a few units. Then he's got die here. Die is of course great because everybody goes for Civic 2 very soon after they get into second age. So yeah, that's great. For Gunalan in this side, he's got Bison. Bison is good, but again, for something that's outside the territory, I don't know. Diamonds is amazing. Diamonds, especially because it's in his territory and Koreans get cheap towers, so Gunalan can tower this and secure it for the whole game. Same thing goes for relics and peacock. In his territory, he can tower it. Honestly, relics and diamonds are very good combination. One gives you wealth, one gives you knowledge, and that you can go extra science levels because science requires knowledge and wealth. And look at that, Gunalan is going for a second civic. So being Koreans, it's not a bad idea to do that because Koreans are very hard to raid. Yeah, because of the instant militia, their free repairs, and also because of the cheaper towers, they become very difficult to raid. So I do not mind Gunalan's decision here. Compared to Mayans are not, I would say they are still pretty raidable, because the only defensive bonus they got is the stronger buildings and extra fire from the buildings, but as long as you can stay away from the buildings, it's fine. But the free militia upgrade from Koreans, that's really good. And look at that, you can see Gunalan has one villager here, so that he can, I'm hoping he can convert them into militia and send them here for raiding, but so far nothing from him. And this scout is going to discover sugar very soon. I hope Gunalan realizes that it's time to send the militia. Anyway, looking here, Serman has ace, and Serman is going for a stable build. So with a stable, he's going to send out some raiding units. On this side, Gunalan is doing really good. This rare is being protected. Sad thing, Gunalan has not discovered diamonds here. Diamonds is easily the best rare he has in his territory right now. Yeah, that's really bad. In standard games on Sahara, it's common that there will be a rare resource right next to your territory, right next to your home city. So if you don't find anything, you need to scout more. So if he scouts using a lookout, he will find Actually, you know what? I don't blame him, because look at this. It feels like there's nothing here because there's rocks, but it's actually diamonds on this side. So yeah, he is a little unlucky with that for sure. Anyway, he still has a good start, so I don't think it should matter that much. On this side, senator and horse archers. And that's a good idea by Serman. He ran away with that merchant, and I guess he might even be able to. No, he won't be killing this merchant, but anyway, good try. At least the merchant is no longer on the sugar. Hey Shubham, hey full collapse. Thanks for joining the stream. So Serman is just being defensive right now. He doesn't want to commit too much on raiding because Koreans, they don't care much about horse archer raids. It's very difficult to make serious damage using horse archers on Koreans because of free militia. If you want to raid Koreans, go for some heavy raids or at least heavy cavalry. Or if you're raiding using a horse archer, you have to be placing it in a very strategic place, like somewhere here where it has the advantage of range, or somewhere here on this side where you can raid the villagers and the villagers can't reach you. Oh, look at that, that's a nice foresight here. Serman knew that he would come back for this sugar, and he did raid that. Now, horse archers are not good for killing militia, but if there's a single militia running around in the map, well, horse archers are perfect for that. Really good. So this is also a really strong power of Korea. They can raid throughout the map using their militia. And I also like this from Gunalan. He has a defensive army ready for here with a scout. But where Gunalan is getting a little complacent is his relics. He thinks that he's got relics, so he doesn't need to build any more university, which is wrong completely, because you can see Serman is dominating in knowledge at this point. And Gunalan has seen that there is a city coming here, so it should not be any problem to. It shouldn't be any problem to get rid of this. No, Gunalan is going to give him. Oh no! That's great. That's great. He was able to get the senator. Look at that. He has so much wealth. He should be making a library and filling the university with that. I mean, making a university, not a library. And Serman has been watching out. He has a scout planted a diamond so that he can keep a check on this, but it's sad that Gunalan doesn't know about it. This is a perfect spot for Gunalan because he has denied Serman the city. He has the upper hand, but where he's missing is knowledge again. Everything else is good on this side. And as long as he can keep denying this third city, he is going to delay the knowledge wealth production for Serman, because in order to maximize your wealth, you need to have at least 2 caravans. 3 is better. So this is a raiding cataphract, and for Korean villagers, I think they can all take it out. 3 militia can take it out, but Gunalan has decided to go inside. So what Gunalan could have done is convert all of them to militia, use 2 militia to attack this, and the other militia, which is almost dead, could have been garrisoned. So this would make a lot of damage. But what Gunalan doing here is also not bad. He has sent light cavalry. Light cavalries are faster. So yeah, that's also a good idea. I like how Gunalan has been constantly attacking, making sure that this city doesn't get complete, but Serman is persistent. He got so many villagers out just to complete the city, because Koreans can build cities faster. I mean, Mayans can build buildings faster. So that bonus really applies here when there are so many villagers building it at the same time. So continuous raiding, that's what we want. Gunalan still doesn't know about a gem, so that's bad on his part. He has not scouted as well as I would expect him. Still not enough knowledge. Yeah, finally I hope he should start spamming scholars. He's ahead in almost every way. I think he has a higher score, he has had a better start, but just some knowledge. And going to attack from well, actually also this might be a good place to raid for Gunalan, because so far there is nothing blocking this path except this fort, which is going to be going up soon. And on this side, this would be a good place for Serman to raid, because this is wide open. If Gunalan could try to get a tower here just to block this passage, even tower here, but let's see. So far he's upgrading his units. He's getting this flaming shot, and he's ahead in age. So when you are ahead in age and your opponent has not aged for a while, you should go and raid him, because you have, even if he has more units, you have advanced units, so you're going to do more damage. And it's strange that Serman is making slingers. Maybe he wants to counter he wants to counter the Korean archers, but still it's not a common choice to see slingers in the beginning, so I'm really surprised to look at that. And the thing is, this is not a big enough army to make much difference here, because Mayans are strong with a single siege unit. It's gonna take a long time to get this city reduced, and this is something that everybody could learn from. Serman has got his castle down as soon as possible. Bringing putting down a castle means now he can get these tactics the moment he upgrades his military level 3. But Gunalan has got a lot of resources in inventory. He has excess knowledge, so much food, and he should get this commerce done, build a timber camp, get his wood to 200. Probably the same thing for food as well. He can do the same thing for metal as well. But yeah, that's he should be making more village scholars. He could easily dominate in this game. He has got the perfect setup, but he is missing on these small details. Finally, he does click on scholars, and he's got I think he's got a great army here. Just waiting to see what. Oh, light cavalry. I don't know how good these are. Well, okay, wool merchant. No, he's going to raid the citizens there. And these kind of harassments also help a lot. Although light cavalry don't do much damage, but the good thing about light cavalry is that you can hit and run whenever you want, as long as you don't lose a light cavalry, which I think Gunalan might lose one. He needs to just disturb these villagers and go back. Now he lost one light cavalry. He should not be losing another light cavalry. That's a very poor decision. The whole point of raiding with that light cavalry is to, yeah, it is to be able to run away, but he was not able to do that. That's great. He is getting his militia, and if you're getting militia into a territory with attrition, use march. Always use march. Nice. He has taken the city. It does not look good for Serman. Serman is going to be aging to gunpowder very soon, but I still don't think it's going good for him. And that's a great move. Serman brings his militia from behind, but Gunalan loses the city. Gunalan losing the city means now Gunalan's units are no longer receiving the attrition protection. And in such cases, I strongly go against using militia, because I mean, not for Serman. Serman did great with militia, but for Gunalan, because at this age, militia don't make much of a difference. Militia are strong in classical age, where the military units aren't that strong. But at this point, militia just means that see, you can look at Gunalan's economy. Losing those militia wasn't worth it. He is getting more militia, but there's no point. I think he has made enough damage here. He should go back, do some raids, or maybe come back with a stronger army. Not worth. Militia is not worth here, just because of the attrition. If there was no attrition, I am all in for getting militia. So yeah, this is not going good for not going good for Gunalan, just because he lost a lot of his economy. So you would think that he is doing damage to Serman, but in the end, this attack damaged him more than Serman. 150, 152 compared to 120, 160, and almost 30 metal. So it was not a good engagement there. Gunalan would be better off fighting this with his own army. Another thing he's missing on his going civic at this time. Yeah, it's very tricky. Not the best thing to do in this case. Also, Serman has got a castle, which I don't see any from Gunalan. So without a castle, Gunalan is obviously already in a armor behind. And I normally have a practice of clicking on an enemy's unit and finding out which armor he has. So this guy, Serman, has +4 compared to Gunalan, who has +2, and because he does not have the castle upgrade. So it's a very common mistake, but it's also the reason why Gunalan could not hold this city, because of the castle, I mean the upgrade, and because of this tower. Also because he could not replenish units continuously, since he had lost so many militia. His eco was not as good. So Gunalan is right here in the chat actually, and he says he needed citizens, but it still may not be the best option, because you end up losing food and knowledge. But maybe for Koreans, because maybe Koreans not as bad in engagement, because Koreans get villagers, and those villagers might cost about the same as the food cost of the upgrade. And Serman is strong now. Serman is ready to age. He's just waiting for food. And here Gunalan is also strong, but he still no castle. He needs more metal for that. Metal is a very underrated rare. A lot of people forget getting metal, or don't focus as much on the metal as food and wood. But if you want to get an early castle, the metal is a must. Nice raid going on here. But Serman is in a very good spot here. He is within his territory, and he can attack Gunalan. And one big reason why he has such a nice border push is this gems right here, which Gunalan does not know about. Also, he does not know about diamonds yet, so Gunalan is not utilizing his full potential for sure. And Serman is getting a little maybe overconfident, or he just knows he has got the game because he's got all civic and commerce. And that's the time to age. Yeah, good call. Get a castle. Another thing Gunalan could do here is move this mine to this city and then make a smelter in this. So this city becomes the overall metal hub for Gunalan. Finally, granaries are coming. That's good. It's all working out for Gunalan so far. His eco is good, but again, he is not close to aging. His food is not enough. Yeah, and gunpowder age is a major upgrade from medieval because gunpowder brings you so many new units. I would say maybe medieval from classical is not that big enough an upgrade, but gunpowder it brings arquebusiers, it brings those bombards. These are way stronger than their predecessors. And a fourth city from Serman here as well. Serman is now leading the score. He's doing really well, in fact. A lot of archers in his army. Another thing, maybe if Gunalan is watching this, what he can do is looking at the army composition, you can see that it's only 3 heavy cavalry and mostly light infantries. Light infantries are weak against any kind of cavalry except the archer line. Oh, finally Gunalan sees it. Great, that's great. Anyway, so if your opponent is massing up light cavalry, what you could do is spam horses. More of these and more of these. More heavy cavalry, more heavy archers. I mean, more heavy cavalry and light cavalry. What would not work against these? So Gunalan's army composition is exactly opposite because he has a lot. He's had 5 pikes here, and pikes are exactly weak against these archers. So he does not have a good army composition to fight Serman. He's still pumping out more pikemen, which is not good because you can see this army is is mostly arquebusiers and archers. Both of these are good against pikemen. So that was a poor decision in army. This third commerce is helping Serman a lot because third commerce gives him an extra caravan, and you can see the knowledge wealth incomes 191 versus 155. Yeah, still Serman's unit composition is pretty much mostly light cavalry, so it's not a good combination from Serman. So there is a weakness here which Gunalan can easily exploit if he wants to. I think he should hold back, spam heavy cavalry and take him by surprise. And in such moments, even if you have your cavalry garrisoned inside the building, and suddenly taking them out is also good. Like he could have 3 or 4 cavalry garrisons inside here. So you look at that. It's really looking good for Gunalan now. He has got more cavalry here. and they could be taking out. Just get the monarch in front. There's no unit being produced right now. I still wouldn't recommend pikeman. He is making a big mistake by spending his metal on pikemen. There is no cavalry here. Even a single cavalry, it's not worth making pikemen. But what a comeback. Solid comeback by Gunalan. He might be able to take the game back, but on this side, Serman is ready to age to enlightenment now. What I like about Serman's gameplay here, he has packed himself. He has a compact territory. There's very little possibility of raids. Look at this. If he Gunalan cannot raid from this side because this is the main city. He cannot raid from here because this city will block the path. This is a castle, so you definitely don't want to run into a Mayan castle. That's great. And Serman has got the extra armor, so it should tell Gunalan that he has the 4th military. And if somebody has the 4th military, there's a little possibility that he also has the resources required to age enlightenment. Maybe there's a slight possibility. So always should be ready for that. Serman again getting. I think Serman knows that he's got the game, because yeah, not a lot of people go for Commerce 4 if they don't think they're losing the game. Commerce 4, he's trying to get his eco back to 300 and like up to 310, and it's good now. Gunalan has got more cavalries. And he's also got elite pikemen. Elite pikemen, as long as the cavalry are killing the light infantry, the heavy infantry are good to attack. You definitely don't want to send your oh, bad exchange, really bad exchange. You don't want, these knights should be close here and protecting your own light infantry. A nice mix by Serman here. Serman realized that Gunalan is making a lot of heavy cavalry, so he switched to heavy infantry here. These heavy infantry are strong against cavalry, and it looks like Gunalan is going to lose here. And you can also see the differences in their. Oh, and there goes the monarch. You can see the differences in their knowledge. Ecos 200 for Gunalan and 250 or 270 for the Serman. That's a big difference. And here Serman is just delaying the age, else he could age already. Yeah, this is the point where Serman is not playing he's not in a hurry to finish the game anymore. And Gunalan, he has a lot of knowledge stacked up. I think even enough knowledge to age if he just finishes the researches in time. But really nice play by Serman here. He has a nice economy to support unit production. I really like this kind of gameplay. Gunalan did really fine, but that moment when he failed that attack, it messed up the whole game for him. And great, that's great for him. Here again, I would still consider Gunalan to transfer this mine to this city and get a smelter, because it's not an efficient way to use units. There comes the GG from Gunalan. It was a very intense battle. Serman did end up raiding a lot later on in the game, but a minor mistakes from Gunalan, and that's what cost him the game. I really like both of their game styles. Gunalan actually did really well with Korean's initial rage on Sugar, on Die. If your opponent has these units stranded on their rare resources, then it tells you that he knows that you're going to attack him. That's a great thing about you if you're raiding so hard that he has to always keep a defensive unit on the rare resources. Sad thing that Gunalan never found out gems, else he could have pushed this border back a little bit. And also about diamonds, but well, that's a part of the game. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this. I hope you all learned something, and maybe it'll help you improve your standard game. We have a standard tournament, King of Sahara, coming up soon next month. If you are interested, the registration link is in the lobby. I have hosted a game with the registration link. Type that link into your browser and you will be able to register. You need an ally to register. It's a tag team 2 versus 2 tournament. So yeah, good luck with that. I'll see you all next time.